if you separated them, you wouldn't even notice. But like then they're not on the screen. You
Yeah.
could put like one way over there, one way over there.
I want to get lights too, and they're called puck lights. You know,
Oh, we're live.
battery operated puck lights. Yeah.
Do your opening song. Go.
My
Don't be afraid.
opening
Sing
song. Wait, this is episode 28. Episode 28 with the Grif and Gho Meisters. Welcome.
I was gonna do something like, Grif and Gho. Wait, this is the Grif and Gho show. This is the Grif and Gho show.
Oh my gosh!
But I can't hold it in my head for the watermelon sugar part. It's too hard to spit. But yeah, Grif and Gho show. Whatever. Anyway, what's up?
What's up, man? You got the reference to the title PTR. You going to the mall today? If anybody watching knows, or if you're watching like the VOD, the rebroadcast later on, comment what you think that's from. It's an old movie, great movie. Hopefully it's holding up to time. I haven't gone back and watched it since
Probably not.
a teenager.
I mean, I don't know. Like, there's not too much of a I'm trying to like think through all the scenes. Honestly, like, no, because he's not hitting on some random woman. He's hitting on a girl he's into, and she's into him. And he doesn't ever cross the line until they start getting freaky. Yeah, I think it's legit.
Well, eventually.
Hey, what's up, Scotty J? What's up?
Scotty J.
Did you see my Shure microphone? This is our sponsor for this this particular podcast, sponsored by Shure.
Mm-hmm.
And by sponsored, I mean I paid full price for this thing, and Shure has not made any contact with either one of us.
And they've only provided one microphone for us to share.
Yeah, and we both say Shure a lot.
Is mine a Shure? No, mine's a Samsung. No. It's a Samsung. I have Shure microphones, but all right, let's get her going here. We've got one poll between the both of us. I was like, I was waiting. I was refreshing my YouTube all day today to see if you were going to post like a late poll.
I had a good one, and I'm not going to do it now.
I was like, the signature Wednesday morning.
Here's the thing. Because they split the PTR the way they did, my poll was asking if you think it's going to be, if the content's going to be hard, but I think it's going to change. I think they're going to make it harder for the 19th run. So I want people to experience it because I won't be able to this weekend. But like, yeah. So my poll will be coming. It sounds weird. I will be putting out a new poll on my channel soon.
Okay.
All right. What's yours?
Mine was I finally I've been procrastinating this for months, and I finally prepared my own like all the mats for Jeeves, and I was like, yo, like how many people are prepared for it? And I asked, are you fully prepared to craft Jeeves when phase 3 launches, which means like you have 450 engineering, you already learned the pattern, like you already have it and learned it, and you've got all the mats except for the new epic gem, the King's Amber. And 40%, 40% of the 324 votes said, yep, I'm ready. Another 18% said I'm close but not all the way prepped yet. And 42 said they're not bothered by it.
I'm not going to lie. The third answer, I laughed when I read it. The oh wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a portable bank vendor.
Yeah.
Oh wait. It's just so good. I legit laughed out loud. That was a good one.
Nice.
I'm not surprised by this. I'm actually, maybe I'm surprised more people aren't ready. But again, like, I don't know, I'm kind of taking advantage of it because I got a ton of bots crafted, scrap bots and stuff like that. So I'm trying to sell a bunch way overpriced right now. And I hope that stays all the way through to launch of phase 3. So
yeah, I didn't realize that like the 110 bot, like the TBC bot, requires like a corium power core or something like that, and corium bars are spiked. Yeah. Like you could sell corium for a good chunk right now.
So the whole system, this doesn't really. I mean, if you're going hardcore later, this might be because auction houses don't matter. I remember the corium stuff, like corium power cores specifically. If you have all the stuff for it, it's actually really good to like craft the corium power cores and then sell them because people would pay like 10 times more than what it costs to craft But yeah, like then the Corian bars will go up in price, and then you have to like farm that. But like that used to be really good money, and now because nobody farms it, the cheaper bots are actually the most expensive ones to get. And the original one, is this the original one? You had to go into BRD,
I had to
so
do
like
that. Yep.
a lot of the alts don't have it and things like that. So a lot of people are going to rely on the auction house. So if you're looking to invest some gold, it might be the play. It might be the play.
And the titanium bars. I had I had bars across 3 tunes, but I had 8, which is what you need to craft Jeeves. So I had to like send 2 from one bank, like 3 from another. I had 3 on another tune. But like
Yeah,
I still might craft a couple extra titanium
I would.
bars or Titan steel. Sorry, Titan steel bars.
It's tricky because because the Titan Steel takes titanium, but everyone wants the titanium ore for the
The
what's
prospect.
the term, prospecting. So like there's nobody if you don't already have some crafted, it's gonna be harder to get some of that later. So yeah, I'm sitting on a bunch of those too
Mm-hmm. But
for
yeah,
the
like,
same reason.
I think the bots were going for like 300 gold. Something was going for 300 gold.
Really,
I was like, what is
the lower
going for
bots.
300?
I
Yeah.
think I think ours were like 120, but I would love it if it was 300 because they only I had all the mats before people started realizing it, and it only cost me like it was still like 20 gold to make them, but like yeah, I'm making a profit off them for sure. But yeah,
Yeah, somebody commented and they were like, well, the whole guild is engineers, so they're not sweating having like their own personal one. But
that's fair.
yeah, to me, I'm
But
like,
at the same time, like
yeah, I'd like to have my own. If I'm off farming and I don't want to like get to a vendor or
I
something,
feel
I just
it's
drop
like
that thing.
wormhole. You know,
Yeah.
like oh yeah, somebody in my group yeah, that's cool, but like be the guy, you know?
Be that guy, yeah.
Like I got my wormhole. I love you know what I like about the wormhole? I mean this is off topic, but like anybody can use it, whether they're in your group or not. So like every time I go to I don't know what you do, but I always drop my wormholes at like the landing place where flight path is. And I'll do a yell wormhole down for 10 seconds. And that way if anybody is like, oh quick, cool, I'll just jump in that instead of having to like fly someplace. Because
Wait,
anybody could just click it.
really? You don't have to be in a party or nothing?
No, I've done it. I see them just chilling out and I'm like, click. Yeah.
Oh,
That's what's so cool about the wormhole. It's OP. It's better than a mage
never knew
portal.
that. Yeah.
But once every 4 hours, that's the big downside.
Yeah, yeah. I wish
But
that
yeah,
it was only like a 2 hour cooldown, 1 hour cooldown.
I mean, 30 minutes is really what we want, or 15 seconds. I don't know. Like, if we're hoping,
Five
I'm not
minutes.
bothering because I just mount for vendor, and bank is full all the time. Well, if your bank is full, that's a good argument. But honestly, GT,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I carry 2 sets at all times, and I would love to be able to dump my bank or my tank set. Just like I know I tank sometimes, but like it's very rare, and it would be nice to have like just more space for like farming and stuff like that. Instead, like even my consumes, a really good one's consumes. I carry consumes on me, and then I have all my consumes macroed in, but only using in raid. But like sometimes I'll jump into something that I don't want to use those consumes for, and it sucks. So like it'd be great if I can just dump them in my bank, and then when I'm ready to raid, someone pops a Jeeves, and we all just steal everything from our banks.
So yeah,
But
like
yeah,
the
that's a big
past
one for me.
the past couple weeks, I've forgotten to bring Serenite bombs,
Potion. Oh,
and they're in
okay.
my bank. And yeah, I could switch log over and mail them to myself, and then drop a molly, and then get them out of the bank or the mailbox. But
Well,
I
it's
would.
not your bank either. That's like someone else, like your other character grabbing them, which is not the same. But
Mhm.
yeah, like it'd just be
I,
better.
yeah,
Excuse
I
me.
would
It'd
just
just
want
be better
to drop Jeeves, yeah, and just get them
for
right out
sure.
of there. I could do it
Yeah,
in between packs, in between pools. It's like, oh, I forgot my consumes. Whoops.
like this is an example of like something I use Molly for, but it would be nice to use Jeeves. Oh, okay. Spoiler: I got Dreambinder last night. Woo!
What?
But I already told you. You don't need to.
Oh my gosh,
But
dude, grass, bro.
I I've been sitting on the enchanting and gem stuff
Oh,
for like 2 weeks. So what every day before raid, I'll mail it to myself, like all the stuff. So that way if I do get a drop, I just open Molly, grab all the stuff, enchant it, gem it. But like if I had a Jeeves, I could just keep my bank and I wouldn't have to keep mailing it to myself. And I know what you're thinking, just mail it to yourself and then just don't use it. But I hate having mail in my mailbox to the point that like I won't do that. I'll collect it, send it back to my alt, and then create a new mail when I need it. But yeah.
Ooh.
No post in disk. Oh, did it not hit? Oh, mine didn't. My bad.
I just
I had it
closed my
queued up.
browser. Hopefully it's still live.
Yeah, we're still
I
live.
closed the live browser. How do I get back to it? Go live?
Hey, thanks, Bearbiss. Appreciate you posting that. But yeah, get back to what? What happened? It's just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Is it going though? It didn't break? Oh.
No,
I've
nothing
never
broke.
I closed the browser. Like
the
I
browser
was like,
aspect
oh no.
has literally nothing to. I cannot say this to you enough times for you to hear me. That browser is just for fun. It doesn't do anything. Hitting end stream has no effect unless you end the stream. Well, I mean it will, but just OBS.
My bad.
Anyway, you were saying.
I mean that was it for the poll, pretty much.
Yeah.
But since you've already started talking about, what's gone on in your previous week, and wow, let's keep it going. What else? You got Dreambinder, Grass on your weapon.
So,
1 week after I got it. So
yeah, Gratz Boomkin every Boomkin in my guild's like, oh, you don't have that yet? Like complete trolls. I got it, and I almost couldn't use it. Like I used it anyway just because I'm like, why not? I have it. But like I have to re-gem all my gear because my Dark Edge had 0 ARP and my Dreambinder has a ton. So I made up for that with gemming ARP everywhere. So now I've got to drop ARP everywhere. I did most of it. I think it's like ready to go, but I still want to do some tweaks in there to make sure my hit's where I want it to be. But like yeah, like now all I have left is 6 pieces to go.
Only 6. What else besides the raid? Have you been doing anything on your alts or?
I've been doing all
Phase 3
my
prep
stuff. All my stuff for the last week has been personal stuff. Like, I have a bunch of. I'm actually out of town this weekend. The CrossFit thing. I started playing volleyball full time, which sounds weird. Yeah. So like I've been busy, but like it sucks. Oh, I bought a Nintendo Switch though. Because I've been doing stuff, but like I'm still sitting around a lot, and I can't bring my computer with me. So I'm gonna try. I've never played. I haven't had a Nintendo since Super Nintendo. So I'm excited for the Nintendo Switch to change my world. Mainly because I used to be a big Zelda fan, like way back in the day. Like I played like the original and Link. There's it called? Yeah, Zelda, and then Zelda 2 Link, or Link Zelda 2, whatever. I played both of those, and I did have a Game Boy, so that's not true. I had a Game Boy Advance, but yeah, I played only Zelda and Mario games on there. So I'm really looking forward. My friend kind of pushed me on Zelda, and I'm gonna try it. But yeah, and I might be trying Diablo soon. Life's tough.
Diablo.
But yeah, nothing like honestly WoW related. Nothing. My farming has all failed. I'm just ready for phase 3. I'm ready.
Well, I've done so much in WoW. We're going to spend another hour and a half talking about just my stuff then.
Perfect. That's what I want to hear.
I'll start with my GDKP. It was one of the lowest payouts we've had in months. Katana there, it's been sheathed. So like you can see the sheath like below it. But yeah.
It looks good. Like the background looks good. Oh, you know what though? The way you sit, I didn't notice the boomy.
Yeah, it's the homie. I forgot what his name is.
I know, but the way you sit, I didn't like. You turn your seat a little bit, so I didn't even notice him.
This thing, it looks dirty. It's never been out of the sheath.
Well, you gotta take care of it. You gotta oil it up, clean it.
Dirty. Yeah, I need some oil.
Watermelon sugar high. Sorry, it's in my head. What was I gonna ask you? Oh man. Did you hear about? I mentioned it to you in the stream last night, and this is kind of unrelated, but like because you're talking about GDKP. Did you guys know that they changed it so you can't Zerg in Freya anymore on the Ent?
Just for the logs, right? Like it adds 2.5 minutes or something to your log. Yeah, that happened to us 2 weeks ago, last week.
Nice. Did you read Table Slam?
Yeah. That's it's a change that needs to happen in game. You know, if I do it in real life and I hold a sword in real life, then eventually it'll happen in game. It'll be art imitating
rule.
life.
You can carry a polearm now. You should get a polearm.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so GDKP. Sorry, I don't want to knock you off track.
No, you're good. Yeah, one of our lowest payouts in the last couple months. It was a 8.5K payout. We had some terrible 2.52 loot that like people either just didn't even buy at all or it went for the min bid of 5K. But
what's the term people use for like when something nobody uses it, like nobody can use it, but it's a good thing. It's like it got. There's a term, I can't think what it is. Like when you just like, oh, that sweet item drop, but nobody needs it, so we just DE it. There's a term for it. Someone will say it in chat. Anyway.
And it's my Valinir Boomy, so I got only 2 frags again, so I'm up to 14 frags out of 30. And
that's not bad. You think you're gonna make it though?
That's like week 6, and I'm not even halfway there. And we've probably got like 4 weeks till phase 3.
Less than
3.
4. I want to say 3. I say 3 weeks. So if let's say you get lucky and you get 4 per, that's still only 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to get some good 6 runs going.
But
where like everything just drops.
It's a good thing for me to think about because it's like, how long are we going to continue to do Ulduar GDKP? Is it still going to be valuable in phase 3, or is it?
Yeah.
Like, are we just going to?
You know what's crazy? It might just disappear because people can just farm the gear now, in 10-man, in 25-man. Yeah, because if you're talking about 25-man GDKP,
25,
100%, because all those items, the hard mode items, that's the only way you can get them is running 25-man.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like do we just do we finish getting my Valinir in the GDKP and then just go to talk GDKP instead?
Did you agree to buy them ahead of time, right? So
yeah,
like they owe you. Yeah, so they have to let you go. They have an obligation to the shareholder.
Or like I wouldn't. Well, I don't know. I was just thinking. I was like, maybe like I wouldn't care if I just brought that tune to like the main raid if we continue to do that. If our second Valinir finishes getting theirs, but we've had shitty loot or frag drops in our main raid too.
We had our 25-man last night. We had 0, and I do mean 0 tank gear drop. 0. Like not even like just druid, just no tank gear. We had so much spellcaster gear, it was crazy. Thank God Dreambinder dropped because like I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a couple tank pieces. Nothing. So yeah. But on the gold thing, my guild. I don't know I think I told you this. My guild sells Mimi heads.
Mm-hmm.
We sold one for 100K this week, so we all got a 4K cut.
Damn.
Yeah, which felt pretty good. You know. Not mad about it.
Yeah. And I bought Flare for 77K.
77,000. You overpaid.
That's the cheapest Flare that we've had sold. That's our 4th Flare, and it was the cheapest.
Let me ask you: Does Flare hold up through phase 3?
Yeah, it's still Biss trinket for Boomy through phase 3.
Okay, then never mind. I take it back. I was thinking of the the other one. It's like
scale. Yeah,
I was thinking scale. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, then good job. 77K.
Because it went 90, 80, 85, and then 77. So.
Oh, okay.
And if I wouldn't
have next week, it'll be it's got to drop though.
It'll probably unless we bring like a new caster in that is willing to pay a lot, then it might go for 70, 75. It just depends. A lot of the big spenders have already got it now.
I need an upgraded trinket, but the one from 25 I haven't seen ever. Cosmic Trail or Comets Trail, Cosmic Trail, and DM I've only seen once in a GDKP, and I lost it for a very large amount of money. So yeah, good. Well, good on you. At least you're making some gold, right?
I need to see how much gold I have now. I feel like I only have like 40-ish K.
That's
40,
all I have.
45.
40K.
Yeah. I need to get back up to like 100K. I've got
100,
3 weeks to get back to 100 just to feel
especially
like
going into phase 3, you want to be able to like not think about it. Yeah, for sure. Well, you could do that by crafting bots. Check out our video earlier. Sorry. But yeah, cool. I decided I don't like this. Okay. I feel like I'm like my head's voiced to this this section of the, but now I feel like more open. Okay. 330K is too much.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's ridiculous.
So what about raiding? Have you seen any new loot lately?
Raiding
Raid?
on the main Boomy? No, I'm still up for Flare on that tune because Flare I bought on my alt before I got it on my main. So
your alt once again is better geared than your
it's
main.
It's not better geared,
but it might as well be because once you get that thing. Because that happened to you too. Like, remember phase 1? You got what do you call it on your alt before you got it on your main?
I'm trying to think now.
God, off of not Grobulus?
Oh, was it Dying Curse?
Dying Curse.
The trinket, yeah. That's true. Like I always get trinkets on the alt before I do the main.
Maybe you should switch. That way your main gets all the gear and you're happy.
But yeah, raiding stuff. Gear wise, no. I don't think I've gotten a piece of loot in a couple weeks. It might be like a month now.
Are you guys consistently downing all the bosses in one night now?
Well, you see what happened was.
No, I didn't see
that.
I went to bed because it was 10:30 and it's been a half hour since my raid ended, and I was like, I'm tired. So what happened at the end?
We were like getting a little bit quicker and quicker. We still one night cleared last night, but it was back to like a 2-hour 45-minute run, something like that. It was we were getting close to like our cutoff time, but we've had the 2-hour clear. Like last week, I think it was either last week or the week before. They all jumble up together, but it was like an hour 59 or something, and then we got like the penalty for zerging Freya, like with the conservator up.
Oh yeah, it's like 7 minutes too. It's not a small penalty.
Oh, 7. I thought it was only like 2.5. Dang.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the 7 is including if you skip all the flower children.
Oh yeah,
because you can skip those.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I think we did 137 last night, which isn't bad. Like honestly, we were trying to get sub 2 hours, and this is raid 1, and raid 1 is like the better geared raid. So our raid 2 takes about 2 hours though. But yeah, we're trying to keep it sub 2 so that we can start doing both in the same night eventually.
Yeah,
because as much as you want to say Ulduar is done, it's just because the limit of TOGC, you still got to go to Ulduar and get those pants, get that get those legs, because you're not getting any loot from there, at least not frequently enough that you're like, to like I remember like the first run of like you do Ulduar, you get like 2-3 pieces, you're like woo, and now we're trickling in, getting like one every other week, whereas it's gonna start trickling, and so you're gonna rely on Ulduar. Pretty much. That's why I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna get ran, but like it should get ran. But I don't know, man.
I want Ulduar to get nerfed. I'm at that point. After last night was my final straw. I'm on the let's nerf Ulduar.
I want to know who's on the other side of that.
A lot of people
sitting there going. There's people that are like, you need to keep it hard because here's the camps I can see. People that are ready for TOGC and they're just like, whatever. Ulduar is just a gear farm anyway, where it's on farm. People that are struggling that would love to have an easier Ulduar because they're going into TOGC and they need the gear from Ulduar to be able to topple over TOGC. And who are the other people? Who are the people going? No, it needs to stay hard.
Like it's gonna be boring. That's what I hear. I'm not naming names on this one, but it's gonna get boring if it's nerfed. Well, I want boring.
I don't think Scotty's listening anymore. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't. I would prefer it to be boring.
I get the boring aspect, but I also think it's getting a little boring for a lot of parts. Like like Mimi's still exciting, and not necessarily for the good reasons. Because like, dude, so many people die. Oh my god. Freya is more of like, what's the quickest way we can get this thing done, as opposed to like the reason people die on Freya is because people are trying to take shortcuts to get to like, let's kill these little guys quicker, or let's and it's because they're bored. Because it's like, if you die to the grenades at the end, whatever the bombs, that's just embarrassing. Especially as a melee, because like you can't see. But anyway, no, I wouldn't mind at this point. And when I say at this point, I mean when phase 3 hits, if they just go, okay, it's nerfed. Yeah, Bear.
I mean, it's easy to a lot of people, but if you watch,
my God, is it GT was the one whining. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah, he did a whole video talking about
Yeah.
don't nerf Ulduar, and I was like, yo.
I'd make a counter video to that, but I think it's already been made. So I don't want to like, flood the waters, but like, I definitely think Ulduar, you're either clearing it, and when TOGC drops, it's going to be an afterthought for you guys. Like, okay, let's just go do some Ulduar. What can we skip? Well, we can't skip any of them because people need Valinor. Okay, well, can we at least skip Razor? No, we need him because he drops Valinor. What about no, we and you're like, okay, fine, we'll just do this. And then the worst part is you try to speed up and you start wiping on like trash. And then nobody wants to even go to Olo anymore because you're like, come on, like we're dying to like XT trash now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's demoralizing when it's like an afterthought that's harder than the primary thought. You know what I mean? Like once the healers master a noob, Ulduar is the harder raid still. And I think that's gonna be demoralizing to people. But yeah, like personally, I don't care. Like I'll live with whatever. But like if someone gave me the choice, I'd nerf it a little bit. Even just like a minor nerf. Like, okay, we reduced their health pool by, I don't know, 20%. I don't know. Because like the hard modes aren't that hard anymore. Like you and I, we talk about all the time how like you do Mimi on regular and you're like, well, this is just dumb. Like it's just this is a dumb fight because it's almost like you can't imagine that fight without having to worry about fire. Without fire, it takes everything away from that fight. And Freya, I literally don't even know. I guess Freya doesn't have her abilities if you kill the. I'm like, what is Freya non-hard mode?
Oh yeah, it's been so long.
She doesn't have a couple abilities.
Skip normal, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean though. Like, so if they just like made it so we could just go a little bit faster, I'd be okay with it.
I'm trying to find our run from last night.
For time?
March 16th. No, for Mimron. Just to give you an idea, I think we one-shot it. We had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 deaths on Mimron. Chris volume's a bit lower. Okay, I can turn them up.
We had here because I pulled my mic away. There you go. Yeah, I got you. We actually had a lot of deaths on Mimron too. I think we finished Mimron with like, no, God, there was a fight last night.
Wait, that's just Mincy.
At least half the raid dead.
Oh, that's the wrong.
I'm trying to think who it was.
I looked at March 16th.
Wait, what's the date today?
May 16th.
Yeah, May. Oh, I looked at the wrong one too.
I did March 16th.
I looked at the 11th. I don't know why.
May. We probably had here's a comparison. We had what, 15 deaths back then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have more deaths this week than we did 2 months ago on Mimron. We struggling.
How many deaths did you have on Mimron?
16 this week.
We one-shot Mimron with 18 deaths.
Yeah.
18. We had people die. We had at least a shaman died twice. A druid died twice because I rezzed him and he got died. Oh no, 2 druids died twice. Yeah, and we still were able to down it. And that was hard mode.
Yeah. 7 minutes 20 seconds.
I can't remember where they die from. Hand pulse. Isn't hand pulse the
We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 died from hand pulse from us. Yeah.
3 explosions, and explosions are from the mines.
4 explosions. Yeah. Yep. We had flames, shock blast, you name it. Laser barrage.
We had laser barrage. We had everyone towards the end. It was laser barrage. What is hand pulse? Is that the get away from like get out of melee range?
No, that's just like the pump thing, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Like he faces one side of the room.
Fires a pulse of energy towards a random enemy, causing 6, 5, 9, 8 to 7, 4 spell fire damage. So that's just damage.
Yeah, that's
There's
just
no
like
avoiding that. It's not like they made a mistake. They just didn't get healed.
because we had
It's
people,
all
we had
melee.
healers dead, so then people started dying to the hand pulse after the healers
Mm-hmm.
died. Mm-hmm.
Focus up. We get that every pull.
Yeah,
Conan.
our
Focus up. All right, guys, focus up.
our raid got cursed. Like it started off cursed, and I knew it was cursed because our raid lead, love him to death, started the raid by saying, "All right, guys, we're not a speedrun guild, but we're gonna try to get under 2 hours. We're gonna try to keep up the pace. We're gonna work for our speediest clear of Old War." And I was like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah. How did it go?
We did. What is it? Started off XT with our first wipe. So we did Flame Leviathan, no problem. You know, Ignis, Razor Scale, cool, clean, and then we died to XT. People just didn't like, the heart phase.
Wait, you guys doing trash?
No, we skip the trash. Yeah, we skip
Okay.
it. So we got to the heart phase. The two groups of bombs started to like slowly come into the boss, and nobody killed him. I was trying I typhooned one side, I turned to the other side. I was trying to like kill the big bomb to explode the little bombs. I got a light spark. I had to go to the foot. I couldn't continue to really do damage on them. And they all came in, and I think the boss like ate a bunch of them, and then finally people were switching to the big bombs, so the big bombs were exploding, doing raid damage on the ranged, and we had to wipe it up.
Jeez.
Then we did the second one and downed it, but
I almost don't want to look, but I'm pretty sure we had 3 warriors, so our sparks were dying so fast that I don't think I even switched more than like one time. Just because like normally like the sparks stay up for a while, and like because warriors, if you guys don't know, cleave is like part of the rotation. They just melt with 3 warriors. And honestly, like even if warriors aren't top DPS, for me that little change, bring them. Like honestly, because nobody else wants to do it, let the warriors cleave. I'm okay with that. Nobody's complaining. Yeah, I did. I was fifth. I was fifth, and I only had an 89. Like, and I was behind 2 warriors. Oh my god, that are way more geared than me. But also because they can cleave on the trash or on the ads really well, as opposed to like me not being able to. So like I half-heartedly switched. But yeah, like I'm trying to see how much damage I did to. I don't even want to look. Life sparks. Not a lot. I don't want to say how much, but not a lot. Oh man, that's really bad. Anyway, yeah, because whatever number you're picturing in your head, it's much smaller than that. In fact, if you started at 0 and went slightly up, you'd be closer than whatever you were thinking.
Nice.
It's bad. But yeah, that sucks to wipe on XT.
Yeah.
I don't remember a time wiping on Razor Scale, except for during the achievement part. The achievement part I've done. Same thing with Ignis. You don't really wipe on Ignis anymore once everyone understands, especially because you can just do the standstill strap. And then you get XT, and then
we go Iron Council, and we wiped Iron Council.
How do you guys wipe? I don't get it. How do people wipe Iron Council?
I think what happened with ours was it was like the weird push timing with the rune. Like it was like a 1 second difference between the blue rune dropping and the death rune, and we tried to push it, and soon as
the worst thing, worst thing in the world.
As soon as we pushed it, the death rune dropped on top of the blue rune, and people just didn't move out. But like, I don't know if we have the DPS to have been able to salvage it and just like run out and just DPS without the blue rune. Might have had like both tanks have to die and like have pushed through it, but yeah, we just wiped it up.
We had the same problem last night where we had the death thing kept dropping when we needed the blue rune, and then like we finally get a blue rune, and it's just right after a death rune, so we had to like literally wait the full cycle of both and wait for him to drop. And yeah, it was fine, like we all just chilled out and did nothing, but like some people just don't have the patience to stop DPSing when the raid leaders saying stop DPS. What they hear is kill it, and I don't know. And then because if you kill the second guy just whenever, man, especially if you don't have a blue rune down, or or if you have a death rune, everyone's working towards it. Like it sucks. So like we've had it happen. And it's usually just like a cross your fingers and hope you kill Steelbreaker in time because you know. But yeah, like for sure. I don't think I've had a wipe on IC in a very long time, and I still tank the first one, which I think I've mentioned many times. I'm not a big fan of having 3 tanks.
Yeah.
But
3 sounds
I mean,
like so much.
I'm cat, so it's not really I'm real tanking, but I just feel like the one tank can handle 2 of those because that's how I've done it in the past. But
I was just thinking of a nerf for Iron Council. Just make the last whatever that debuff is that the tank gets in phase 3 that kills them. Extend it, make it longer. If it's only 30 seconds, make it like 45. Because the grace period in 10-man is so big, and I love it. But 25-man, if you don't have that blue rune, you're pretty much screwed. At least like most of the blue rune.
And if I can add to that, if you don't kill the tank, or like the boss dies before the tank does, maybe just remove the debuff. Just
so the tank doesn't die.
Because we literally have to like, okay, go die in a corner. I mean, thank God there's no world buffs, but like,
oh yeah, I know.
Still, yeah, because it's like that second boss in BWL where like people were like Hearthstoning out of there just to.
It can't be 15 seconds.
Feels like
that's super short. Oh well, maybe it doesn't give it to the tank until after like 10-15 seconds after phase 3 starts. 5 seconds in? That seems so fast.
I don't know. You could look.
Well, whatever it is, extend it a little further because it's too quick. If the rune gets screwed, I don't feel like it should be a wipe.
The only nerf I want from IC is the little dude stops moving around, so the pulls can be cleaner. I don't have to rely on because I tank that little dude. And like I gotta wait for a Death Knight to grip, pause, and then pump. I'm like, dude, just chill out. Just stand in the middle like you're supposed to, so we can do this thing. I know that's not like a nerf, but that's what I want. If we're doing nerf requests.
I hate when it's 10 seconds in.
Okay, 10
and
seconds
then it's 15.
So total.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
That sounds all right. Yeah, like I hate when the pull timer goes off and then the little dude like runs to the back of the room and I'm like, well, rip. You're like, yeah, there goes my parse before they even pull.
It's worse if like you're a bear, he runs back, you charge, and then the Death Knight then Death grips into the middle, and you're like, I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. All right, so then after Iron Council, we go to Algalon.
Algalon.
We had 4 wipes on Algalon.
Maybe twice actually.
But it was Scotty is our star killer in 25-man, and he was having like computer issues and distracted. Ooh, I need to yell at the rogues. You guys need to do something. But yeah, like Scotty's computer was like lagging like crazy, and he had to restart it. So I don't know if he was having like add-on issues or something, because we would come out of the first Big Bang and then like another star would pop, and it's like, wait, what? And we were having people die. And then there was a couple other things that went wrong with Algalon, but Algalon, I think, was the only boss that dropped caster loot for us, like 252 caster loot. And we got the fair, or whatever the gloves are, the cloth gloves that I'll never see. And then we got the offhand again, Cosmos. So that was nice. At least we got some caster loot. Yeah.
We wiped on Algalon once ourselves, and honestly, I really think it's just RNG if our tank, like every time. Oh man, this is not a trashing of my guild at all, because
we don't trash our guilds.
This is true for like every place, but like when the tank dies, he goes, "Oh, I should have called for a cooldown," and you're like, Algalon, there should be a cooldown running at all times. Like, what are we doing?
100% cooldown.
It is literally the reason we constantly bring all these stupid paladins, no shots of paladins. And when you hear after a wipe, you hear, maybe I should call for a cooldown, and you're like, maybe you should call for press the buttons. Like, and again, not taking a shot at anyone, because I've been in multiple different groups and it happens all the time where they're like, oh, I didn't really have a cooldown up, and you're like, you're tanking. Someone should have a cooldown on you, like, or using personals. Like, again, not taking a shot at the tanks at all, but like that is frustrating when you're like, so we had buttons, and you chose not to press them, and we wiped. And Elgon's
Yeah.
one of those ones where, like, even though it's not a big deal to wipe once or twice, it still tings in the back of your head, like, is it, if we don't get this 1 hour, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What if?
So yeah, like, what happens if this guy can't get it, and then we just wipe? Yeah, that's for real. But like, again, I'm more teasing than anything. When you hear like, oh, I probably should have used a cooldown there, you're like, dude, it's the same fight every week. And to be fair, I only say this now because I've now tanked it, and I had never tanked it before, and I understood the basics of it. But now that I've tanked it, the pattern is so consistent for the tanks, like when you switch, what damage you're taking, all that stuff, that I'm just like, then you know when to pop the thing, like, you know. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Conan.
So we finally got Algalon on our 5th attempt. Did Kulligarn. I don't think there's really issues with Kulligarn. Ariaya, Hodir. Hodir was close. A minute 54. It was like me and one of the Shadow Priests, like, were next to a fire. There was a second fire. I don't know if anybody like ran to that one to help keep the Singe stacked, but our Singe almost fell off. It was like falling off, and
ours was close too.
Something hit.
Yeah.
Thorum. Did we have? Let me look at the Thorum real quick.
We had deaths on Thorum.
Yeah, we had a. I'm trying to think how to word this. We had a ranged player taunt the boss somehow. I don't even know how it happened. Like,
what?
The raid lead, like,
what player?
The raid, it was a paladin. But like,
no,
they used a cooldown. Let me see what the Discord thing was, because Goldar looked at it. He said at that. I'm trying to think. Less than 0.25 seconds apart, they used righteous. What's RD? RD.
Righteous defense.
Righteous defense.
It's a taunt.
So yeah, our Holy Pally used righteous defense on another player.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, and it targeted the ranged player that he righteous defensed, and then he chain lightning. I don't know. It was a whole bunch of like weird stuff, but like
Holy Pally was casting righteous defense on a caster for stacks of meteorite.
8 people died to a chain lightning. A minute and 30 into
moment the boss targeted the caster. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, why would he righteous defense the
boss? I don't know anything. Like, that's a whole foreign language to me, like paladin cooldowns and what they do. But yeah, 8 people died to a chain lightning. So then the boss goes like way out of position, and it got like everything got figured out and repositioned, and we one shot it, but it was like, whoa, like what happened there? That was a weird one.
We just had some random deaths. It was pretty smooth. Yeah, we had 2 deaths from Blizzard.
Freya, we one shot the Freya. Mimron, like I said earlier, we had 16 deaths on that.
What was your time on Mimron?
Mimron 720.
We did it in 820. Yeah, that's how many deaths we had at the end.
Did one of those sections heal up in phase 4?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I was like, maybe that was it. Like,
no.
Okay.
We had because we front loaded all of our deaths. So we had phase 3 with only like 20 people, and then phase 4. Phase 4. I think we were down to like 15.
Mm.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
Or no, more than 15. We were down to like 12. But yeah, we did. Do you guys do Zero Light all the time now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How are you liking it?
Zero Light's not bad. We one shot Vezex, got to Yogg.
I forgot Vezex.
We had 2 wipes on Yogg 0. And like the first wipe was going smooth. Like all the wipes are like in that last final phase, like the last 10% of the boss's health. You know, it's like 5 million health or below is when something usually messes up, like a taunt gets scuffed or something, or a cooldown doesn't get used. And
yeah,
The tank dies or something. The off tank
It's
dies that pulls
it's
the
again,
ads away.
it's always the tank on the like it goes back like it's and the thing is we we went in with 24 because the 25th was a carry for the Mimi head.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they had done Yogg 1, so we were like, okay, cool, it's just like Yogg 0, or same thing, just do the thing. So we thought for sure we'd wipe at least once. We one shot it, but like last week we were like, yeah, use army, and
Oh, that's what
if you don't
happened.
do army, at the right time,
Yeah.
it's bad.
I
Like
think that was our first
it
one, an army.
if
Mm-hmm.
you use it too early, yeah. But all in all, like yeah, it was clean. Like our Yogg was clean. It's so hard to pump on Yogg compared to Warlocks. Warlocks could just absolutely destroy on Yogg.
They
Nothing
can
I can do
just
about it.
see the ads. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I could hurricane the ads. I could pad. I could sit
You
there
can
and
swipe
hurricane.
as a feral.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
actually like if you're going for like parse on Yogg 0, you have to swipe the ads.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
And I'm not a fan.
there's the raid. Now here's another take on why I would want to nerf an old war for phase 3. People aren't going to be trying to parse in phase 3 anymore in old war. That's what's giving some of us the extra motivation to pump out this damage right now in phase 2. Once phase 3 comes, everyone's going to be like, I don't care about my old war parse anymore. So they're not going to care. They're not going to do as much damage as they have been doing. They're going to slack off. They're not going to use as many potions.
It's the potions is one thing. When I run Nax on my main, I try to pump. Mainly because like what else are you going to do in your DPS? But I will tell you the thing that happens on Nax is I don't bring my main. I'm like, oh yeah, I can come with you. I'll bring my ult. You know what I mean? And that's what everyone's gonna do. So you're gonna be running 25-man Ulduar with 20, maybe hopefully 20 of you as mains, and the other 5 are alts, or maybe 15 and 10. And that Ulduar that was smooth 2 weeks ago is now struggle bus because your DPS just plummeted by 10 grand. And yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
That's dude. You're already now. You just got me like heated, and it hasn't even happened yet, and it's like a month away until people are gonna start begging to bring their ult in, and like no, mandatory mains for Ulduar.
You got to carry. That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
And despite what people say, it doesn't take more than like 2 or 3 to like start actually seeing like the ult issue.
Oh yeah.
On certain fights where like especially like on fights where you're bringing someone that's going from maybe like a healer to a DPS or vice versa, and like they know how to do their class and they don't know how to do the other class, and you're like, whoa, what happened there? Oh, I was supposed to DSAC. I heard you say it, but I was like, you're like,
or a range goes to a melee and then they die to a sapper in the mem hallway because they're like, oh, I've never been a melee. I've never had to avoid this sapper because I'm always at range. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So other stuff I've been up to. Yeah. I don't know. But other stuff I've been up to outside of raid is I got 2 mounts. I've been farming mounts for months, and I got 2 within 4 days of each other. I got Anzu first, so no more Sethic Halls to do, and it's fitting. I got the Druid mount first, and I've been riding that thing all over the place. And then yesterday before raid, I usually do like an hour and a half, 2 hours of like mount farms before the raid.
Hold on. Do not tell me.
Okay.
I want to explain to you the significance of each one. If you got the Raptor mount, you're stupid because who cares? And if the exciting thing, don't tell me yet.
I need to go back to Raptor mount being stupid though when you're done.
The Raptor mount is stupid, especially for a horde. If you're an alliance, it's not horrible because Raptor mounts are hard to get. Then you've got the Tiger mount, badass, regardless of what race or faction you are. Grats, huge grats. And that's cool because it's pretty rare. Then there's the Baron mount. That thing I have never seen. So I'd be really proud if you got it. And plus, I think that's the worst one to run because it's gambling. You can run that thing until your face is blue. Like you could just keep going and keep going and keep
I,
going.
I've done it.
And
yeah. I've tried.
and it sounds like a good thing, and really what it is like a time sink. Because you're in there going, okay, it's got to be the next one, right? I mean, I've done like 120. It's got to be the next one, and I hate that. So I hope it's that one. But and if it is the stupid MTG one, I think that's what it's called.
Magister Terrace, yeah.
Magister Terrace. You're stupid. Go ahead.
Well, there's another mount.
It's the Raptor mount. No,
in Utgard Pinnacle, there's a blue dragon mount. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Brood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that the one you got?
So I went in last week to try to solo it, and that's a good one. I couldn't solo it. I gave it one.
Paladins.
Yeah, I gave it one try. I had to see if I could, but no, it was the tiger mount.
Nice, congrats, man.
Yeah. And to go back on
I'm glad it wasn't the stupid ones.
To go back on the Raptor being stupid for Horde, I've been thinking of doing the Raptor mount from Ungoro, the 21 daily quest thing that you have to do. You have to like carry an egg around or something. I don't even know what it involves, but I was thinking of doing that one for that Raptor mount.
Yeah.
Baron in 12 runs. Nice. Dude, I could do. I feel like I've done an average of 12 runs a day for the last 3 months. If I took all of my total attempts in.
Guys, I have been running the Baron mount farm since Classic, and I've not seen that thing. Like I would run that because it's a lot harder in when you're level 60, but it's doable.
Yeah.
Especially in like Nax gear. I did it tons in TBC because it was super easy, and I did it this in Wrath, and I've definitely killed the dude at least 150 times. Not seen it. I'm over it. I'm over it.
I was gonna ask Table what crystals it was, because I was out there in Ungoro farming some what's that? It's not titanium. Thorium. I was farming thorium for my Jeeves pattern for one of the things, and I was like, while I'm running around here, I could be farming these crystals for Table. But I couldn't remember which ones it was. It's like, is it green? Is it yellow? Is it blue? Is it
Superman
red?
Colors. Superman. You become Superman.
Red and blue.
So Superman colors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 20 dailies. Cool. One less than I thought. It's perfect.
Only 20.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, congrats on the 2 mounts. I'm still at 97. One day I'll get the 3. I'm just not hopeful. I'm gonna buy them eventually, just from Argent Dawn. Or the Argent, whatever ones. There's 3 that left that I have to buy, and that'll probably be how I do it. But that sucks because I really want to get like a cool mount as like my 100th.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I got the mounts. Speaking of the Argent tournament stuff, I have 1 faction left to like finish the dailies with.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been almost consistent with like doing the daily every day for the past couple weeks, and I don't even know like if I'm prepping for phase 3 at all in some way. I have no idea. Like, are there new dailies in phase 3 for that place?
There are. They are. God, did I do them? But there are. I think that I can't remember what the new ones are. It's a new quest giver on both sides. And I don't know what they do, but there are new dailies. Cause yeah, like I'm in the boat that I finished all the factions. And I got the little kid that can run around and switch his flags, which is kind of cool.
I think I have that.
I guess there's a different one that you can get. You can do like another kid.
Oh, okay.
And he can open your bank, I think. I don't have access to him yet. But yeah.
I think I have 3 days left with Silver Moon, and then I think I'm done.
Nice.
Yeah. And I only have a couple of those champion seals. I haven't been doing those at the same time.
I have hundreds of them.
I've only done those dailies maybe like 4 or 5 times. I have like maybe 15 champion seals.
Oh, really? I've got, yeah, like once you do them once or twice, it's super easy. Because you're just like, okay, here. And if you do the goblin ones, do the goblin ones daily?
No, like the wood.
You chop down the tree.
Yeah.
And, yeah, because like the ones that suck are the ones you're doing now, where they change daily, and you have to like look and see like, do I have to go collect some fire? Do I gotta go, pick
collect
some
the
trees
herbs
to drop off a stupid thing? Yeah. These are all just like the way I do it is I fight the dragon dude, then I go down into do the Argent tournament thing, like practice thing. Then I fly over, do the trees, fly up and blow up the rocks. Then I head back and do
the rocks one.
the other one. Yeah. For the stuff from the new vendor. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty close to there. I stopped doing it because it got boring. Finally.
I mean, even the mounts and stuff seemed like they cost a lot.
Too much. Yeah.
Damn.
I got the Argent Griffin or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And that's it because I wanted both because I have the one from Cenarian Refuge.
I mean, once I'm done with the last faction, I might start doing those dailies instead, just to give me some dailies to do while I'm at work or whatever.
It's easy gold too. Yeah, it's easy gold.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, I think that's about all I've been up to. So now we've got a couple news topics to talk about because a couple things happened like the day after the show last week.
It's huge, guys. It's big. It's huge.
I mean, we're talking about the Titan Rune beta dungeons first. Because they've got some new affixes, new mechanics, new whatever you want to call it. And let me ask you first, have you been on the beta to do any of those? Have you tried them? Because I didn't have time to. I didn't do any, and I wanted to.
I only did the Argent, the new one, TOGC. I did watch the Scotty J video though, so I'm up to date, and I'm curious how it's gonna play. Do you want to explain them? Because I don't want to like talk about them.
I know a couple of them. And like the one that Scotty put out last night was for the Azjol No Rub and Old Kingdom one. Yeah, the web wraps. Yeah. So it seems like the longer you're stuck in a web wrap, the bigger a debuff you get to increase your like haste and damage, something like that. So if you're in the web wrap for like
for the time.
Yeah, if you're in there for like 5-6 seconds, then you get a buff. I mean, like a fully stacked buff. It probably ticks every second, maybe even every half second. I didn't watch the video that close, but it seemed like a cool change because that was one of the ones where if that was the daily, I was like, I don't even want to log into the game. Yeah. I don't want guildies to see me online and be like, yo, you trying to do Old Kingdom? It's the daily. Like, no,
honestly,
I'm good.
If you have a paladin tank and a healer that doesn't want to just do his own thing and stand off 30 miles away, the web wraps aren't that bad because the paladin tank, the Consecrate rips up the web wraps fast enough it doesn't matter. Plus, if the paladin gets there and I'm as a feral, you just swipe and it's gone too. And that's fine. But like, I kind of like the change.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, I don't want to. But I want to explain why I like it. But overall, like, can I give my opinion on what I think?
Nope. We're moving on to the next one. It's Nexus and. Okay. Go ahead.
I mean, because this applies to all of them, and the affixes aren't negative, which is what's interesting. They're
the new ones.
They're yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I think went through Blizzard's head, and I hope this is how it works. If you ignore the mechanics of the alpha, you'll likely die or cause a lot of headaches to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you ignore the mechanics of the beta, you are trolling yourself.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to both mechanics and respect them, you will fly through these things with so much fun and joy that you won't get mad at everyone when you pug it. Because I think that's the key. Like the first affix is like, hey, if you're not paying attention, you're gonna die. And the second level of affix is, hey, if you're not paying attention, you're just making this harder on yourself for no reason. Because you understand the mechanics, you benefit from it. And it's just like a raid. If you're in a raid and you understand the mechanics, you're gonna struggle because you're only listening when somebody yells at you or like move out of that. And you're like, well, okay, and you don't know. But if you understand the mechanics, it will actually benefit you. Mm-hmm. Like so I did the TOGC one where there's like food on the ground and you get buffs from it. I was absolutely picking up every bit of food every bit of berserk because it was a buff, and it added to me paying attention to, like, I was doing the stuff here but I had my eye open over here for that. And the same thing with like the I don't even want to call it the healing cloud. I don't know what the term for the thing is. In Gundrak and DTK, there's like a puff of red.
The blood.
They came up with the green
stuff,
thing.
Yeah.
So like the healer takes a poison. I mean, that's how I would do it. Have the healer do it. the healer takes a poison and it can essentially like negate the red with the green.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool as a healer. If you know how to do your job, you've just now proven your worth and made it home easier. If you don't do it, is it going to cause a headache? No, you could just, power through.
It'll cause a headache when the mobs fully
Yeah,
heal.
but
when a
like
boss
that's
fully
the case
heals.
now. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
case now. So I'm not saying if you ignore alpha, I'm saying if you ignore beta
Mm-hmm.
only and still respect alpha, yeah, it'll still be fine, but you'll be
Yeah.
much faster if you do both. And I like that.
And
Hey
then
Noah, how's it going?
the cooler one seemed to be like Halls of Stone and Lightning. I don't know
Yeah,
how.
because Scotty was really excited about that.
Yeah, like the old one as a ranged, I never really noticed the mechanic at all because I think
You
you
get
had
a
to
debuff.
be like in melee range to get that debuff before
Oh, okay, maybe
for the
that's the
alpha
case. I'm
one.
like, how do you not notice it? You're
Yeah,
like,
no,
I'm like,
range never got it really.
just crap, just smacking these guys around, just absolutely destroying them. And I'm like, yes, love it, love it, love it, love it. I thought they were fun before. I thought Halls of Lightning and Halls of Stone, Halls of Stone especially because you could skip so much. You could
Mhm.
literally fight 2 bosses and be done. Um, where Halls of Lightning you're forced to do all of them, which is kind of nice too because you actually have to do a 5-man. But um, I definitely think the Halls of Lightning, Halls of Stone one's gonna be really interesting. Scotty J said it's a lot of fun, and essentially like you just become like a never-ending damage dealer,
Yeah,
brushy boy. I don't know how you want to describe it, but that seems exciting. And I think it's cool that they're trying to make it more fun
yeah,
than because
like a chore, like a head.
they could have
Yeah,
just they could have done beta. Okay, well, damage is higher and
health
bigger
is
health pool.
higher. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the affix is bigger. I don't know,
Hmm.
or it happens more frequently, or
One
something like
extra
that.
mirror
Instead,
image.
they're putting in the
No.
time. Yeah, right.
God
Yeah, that's the
no.
thing. So that's a great example. So the mirror images one. Every time you kill a mirror image, you get a haste buff, I think.
Hmm.
So it encourages people to actually kill those stupid mirror images
Yeah.
instead of just being like, Boomy's got it. It's okay. Boomy's got it. He'll moonfire them all. It's fine. And now the Boomy's like, yeah, I will.
Sure.
Yes, please.
Moonfire, I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, did we leave one of
Yeah.
them? Oh yeah, like the Utgard Keep and Pinnacle. I think it was.
Yeah.
You get the frost thing, and then now somebody else will have a fire debuff, and they have to go into the frost.
That's the only one where it's actually a double penalty. Yeah, essentially what you said. The Path of Frost thing, or I don't know what it's called, but like
Hmm.
when you lay it down, now there's another debuff that if you want to get rid of it, you have to walk across the ice. That's what I kind of imagined them being. It was like they're gonna be like double negatives.
Yeah.
But it's cool that instead they gave you another negative, but you can cancel it out by abusing the first negative, and I think that's really genius. But it goes back to the idea of like you could probably heal through it
Yeah.
and be fine, but like it'd be so much easier if you guys just understood the mechanics and did them. And maybe that's what it's for. It's for training people to do raids.
Yeah, yeah. It's just gonna make, I guess, the ranged and melee stack kind of make sure that they're close together. If melee gets the ice
Yeah.
thing, and then the range gets the fire thing, then the range has to get up to the melee and vice versa. Like, so hopefully, I'm guessing people are gonna be kind of stacked for that one. Right. Anything else for the Titan Rune dungeons? They're probably still live on the PTR if people wanted to go check them out, but it sounded like there weren't that many people on there, like looking to test them.
I think we're all gonna get a really good experience of the betas because of the way they did the. Oh, and we didn't mention they increased the prices of all of the whatever it's called. So if it was 12, it's now 15. If it was 15, it was now 19, and then so on and so forth. So which is good because we were kind of joking at how easy it's gonna be to get hard mode gear, and it's still pretty easy, but just a little bit harder. So that's kind of nice that they added maybe like an extra day. So essentially,
Yeah.
like hard mode pieces, it was gonna be like 1 per day. Now it's gonna be like 1 per 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're farming them like crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's all. That's all I got.
I thought I had one other thing to touch on it right there at the end, but
Thank you, GT.
it
I always
just
forget the name of that
escaped
because
me.
it's not
Side
a great
real
name.
essence. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Crap, what was it? It was something. I had one more thing to talk about Titan Rune, but oh well. Next big thing that's happened in the past week is a lot of hardcore stuff. And there was the announcement on like over the weekend on Sarth's stream with a grind talking about how there's gonna be a PTR for the hardcore servers and that there's a new season of classic WoW that's gonna come out sometime soon in the next 6 months. I don't know. They didn't really from what I saw, they didn't really give like a time frame on the new season because it's not going to be Psalm 2, I guess. It's going to be like season of new name.
So I watched it live, I believe, and this is from memory. I believe they said the PTR for hardcore will be out in summertime.
Mm-hmm. But like what I heard was
what that means.
From what I heard, it was the PTR is going to be up sooner than you think. And it's like, okay, well, I would think that it's going to come out in the next couple weeks. But
summer, no.
Okay, yeah.
So when they made the announcement, I was like, oh. But yeah, then they said like summer. And they said that Season of Mastery will be coming out after that, and it's not the same thing, it's its own thing. And then they said it's not going to be called Season of Mastery 2, which I don't know if that's a hint that it's something completely new or what.
But yeah, I mean, the hardcore servers, I might make a tune.
I'm going to, 100%.
Here's why. I probably will. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's why. Okay. You and I have both done hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
You and I, and a bigger, larger community have a very good understanding of what hardcore is, and I legit want to log in, set up a little shop, a little picnic, right in the low zones, and just watch people die to like the dumbest shit. Like, oh, this guy got killed to a boar, and he has to delete his character. Like, yes, I know that sounds horrible, but like, I'm not trying to be mean to these people. It's a rite of passage for hardcore that you have like a level 5 death. Yeah. And you're like, oh my god, and I
don't make it past the starter zone.
I lived through that. I started, like I have a hardcore in the 20s now, and I'm terrified to play it. And I think that's how it should feel. Is like, okay, like you don't casually log into hardcore. You like check everything.
You turn your second monitor off so you're not distracted.
Yeah, exactly. Shut up, mom.
Put your phone on silent. Yeah.
And because there's going to be so many people with a hardcore server going into it casually, you're just going to see that. You're just going to absolutely see. and again, nothing against these people that it's going to happen to, because it's probably going to happen to me. It's just it's like misery loves company. Like, yep, this is like the moment where you think like, oh, it's going to discourage people. All it's going to do is just make them get that much more like into it. Like, no, I can get past 5. Okay. I've been playing WoW for 18 years. I can get past level 5. And that mentality gets you to level 12. And then you die as soon as you get into like the real levels. And then you're like, okay, no, this time I'm going leatherworking and alchemy, and that way I'll be able to craft my own gear. And like,
I'm not going back into that cave for that stupid quest.
No, the cave, that stupid quest. No, it's done. It's done.
And they were right. No caves. I should have listened.
The thing is, I am not talking to Go from a conversation we had. I'm talking to Go because we've both done hardcore, and I know that every hardcore person has gone through this, because you all go through this. It is literally part of hardcore. And I am so excited for other people to experience it.
That an overlay where you can see where people are dying the most. That's crazy.
That's kind of cool.
So, like, one thing that I hope for the hardcore servers and hardcore in general is that the add-ons no longer going to be required. It's going to be like optional,
part of the game.
Because I don't want to have the add-on. That's like one major thing that I didn't want to, like, that put me off from starting hardcore in the first place, was having to have an add-on. And I use 2 computers. I use a laptop when I'm at work, and then I use my desktop when I'm at home. So like, you could play the same hardcore tune on multiple PCs, but you had to do this big old extra step of like using the cloud and uploading files and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing all that. But
Yeah.
hopefully this one, it's going to be optional if you wanted to do like the achievements or anything like special. But yeah, like I feel like I wouldn't get the add-on on
Okay.
like the
I wouldn't
actual
either.
live one.
I
Like
would
I'll
want to
just
just
bypass
play.
it.
I want to see what Blizzard offers, like what's there, and because this actually opens up a lot of questions. And I'm curious. This is first of all, guys. This is all speculation at this point. Thanks, table. This is all speculation because we've pretty much told you everything they've said except for the ghost thing, but we'll get to that hopefully. Um, do you think they will have access to auction houses?
Yeah. I feel
What do you
like
think?
that was a whole other thing that I wasn't like kind of grasping because I kind of liked the idea of solo self found more, but everybody seems to be on board with, yeah, you should be able to trade with everybody because everybody's one life. Yeah, you should have an auction house because everybody's like the only reason you couldn't have an auction house because there was multi life and like
Right,
solo
and you had
self
to
found on the same
compartmentalize yourself,
server.
and the only way to do it is to not use the auction
But
house.
I kind of like that idea of it's solo self found up to 60, like trading at 60. I can see, especially for
Mhm.
like raiders. You know, if you had like an alchemist giving out flash to the raid or whatever, cool. That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't see an issue
and
with
I think
that.
that's I'm kind of well because so every thing that they change from hardcore changes the core of hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for instance, you just said like alchemists can share pots. Well, that means that alchemy is no longer as valuable for everybody because alchemy was valuable because you could only self pot yourself. But if everyone can, hand out all the pots and stuff, well, then it might make sense to go engineering leatherworking and it might change the whole dynamic of how you play that class. So that's what I'm curious. Like, how much thought are they putting into like auction house versus no auction house? Or one of the rules of hardcore is you can't go through an instance more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to stay or does it
I
not
kind of like that.
matter? That's what I mean though. Like
Yeah.
how what are the arbitrary, like what are the rules, and like how, where do you think the rules came from? Like what was the idea behind the rules, and do you think Blizzard should enforce them for the same reasons or for different reasons?
Well, I mean, I think the rules have just evolved over the past 4 years, and at this point, I think Blizzard said that like all they're doing is one life. You can't res, and that's fine. Like if the community wants to add on their own stipulations and guidelines,
Restrictions.
even if it's like a guild by guild basis, like yo, this is the guild uh solo
These are the
self
guild
found.
rules.
Yeah,
Right.
this is the SSF guild.
So self found. Explain.
You can only use and equip items that you yourself have looted, right? Like you can't
Yes.
trade,
Sorry.
yeah, you can't trade, like you can't mail. Like mailing to yourself, that's a whole nother thing too.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, like can you have a bank alt now?
Well, here's the question. By making these changes, they devalue the bags. And the bags in hardcore are like gold. Like
Mm-hmm.
not even gold, they're better than gold. Finding a bag in the self-found world is like a moment. Like a like guys, imagine finding a 4 slot or 6 slot bag and you're like, "Oh my god. Oh my god." Like it's dumb. It's a
Bless
6 slot
Run.
bag. Calm down. But the reality is that's how exciting it gets when you get a stupid bag because you can't just go buy them because you can't afford them because you can't make any money other than your own. And by introducing the auction house, and someone did discuss this in this chat I was in, by opening the auction house, you're changing hardcore from hardcore to hardcore with people generating gold off the auction house because the auction house does not have a level requirement. So you can create a level 1 and just farm gold on there, like through the, if you guys don't know, people literally will go in the auction house and just sit buy and sell and make gold without doing any quests or anything like that. Is that something we want? Because the only way to really prevent that is to not have an auction house.
Yeah, let me go through some of the stuff Table's been saying. The
Yeah,
rules came from playing on a server with multi-life players. People hated solo self-found at first, but over time it's grown on people. If you play solo self-found, you're guaranteed to not have had help from multi-life characters. On an official hardcore server, there's no need to take extra steps to ensure players are staying hardcore, like running solo self-found, because on an official hardcore server, everybody is hardcore by default.
Yeah, but I still think my auction house argument is legit. Like, if you're creating an environment where a level 1 can have is unlimited gold, and even though it's it's hardcore, it's still they can generate gold off the auction house, and by doing so, if you can then trade with your alts, you can then fund your primary hardcore. And is that something that should be fair? Because again, the excitement of getting a bag at level 6 is one of those, sorry, a 6 slot bag is one of those things that's exciting that openness will take away.
I'm wondering, like, just on bots in particular, would there be less, like, are there going to be bots?
Yeah.
Because I assume there's probably going to be some version of a bot, even though they only have one life. And the first thing that comes to mind is like a fishing bot. But even still, like, would not having an auction house reduce the amount of bots? Or does having an auction house, like, incentivize companies to have bots on these hardcore servers and sell gold?
Botting on a hardcore is harder, or would be harder. I also think that if you had an auction house, it wouldn't be bot driven; it would be player driven, which might be okay. But if you were going to get, like, instead of botting, people would just work the auction house. The reason botting is hard is because there's an inherent risk in dying that botting would have to factor in that I don't think they currently do. Like, hey, like they run blind routes, and sometimes they die, and the person will just come along and reset them back to the location and get them going again on botting. I don't know if that's going to be the case. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think bots are going to be big enough or going to have the access. But yeah, if you want to keep bots at like 0, auction house is a great way to hide them, because that's how they farm and then sell that to make the gold.
What if here we go. Should hardcore servers have a level 55 boost a couple months into no. That would never.
Yes, 100%.
Should hardcore servers ever have a boost option?
Once hardcores become mature, everyone should be able to boost to 55.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, we've all done the 1 through 55 hardcore at this point, and really the only challenge is 55 to 60. I mean, that's someone who's never played hardcore before's mentality.
Do you know how much money Blizzard would make from people buying a level 55 hardcore tune and then leveling it to 60, going into a raid and dying, and then like having to buy another boost? Bro, Blizzard could bank on that, dude.
Dude, imagine if you're like let's say like a Method or like one of those big names like decides to do hardcore, and they're like, oh, he died. Quick, create a new one. It's up to $55. Do it, man. And you're just buying tune after tune with no gear. So then they've got to like run around and gather gear.
It's like we've got a guild bank stocked with money.
I think hardcore has a potential, like more potential than it's already has. Like for example, I think Rested XP guys, which is the hardcore guys anyway. I believe the Rested XP guys, they've now made a hardcore Rested XP. And I think there's like a discussion that there's even like a best gear at your level kind of idea.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey, I want to improve my gear. Like, because I remember Table was sitting there talking about like, okay, if I go do this, I can kill, and maybe I'll get this one thing from this one. I'm like, from this one quest that nobody remembers. He remembers that there's like a green that drops from or this guy has, and that's just either knowledge you have or knowledge you'll never have. Because, like, I mean, how do you remember that? Like, oh, yeah, there's a really good level 35 cloak that you get from that quest that somebody did one time. So I think there's potential for stuff like that. But also, like, if you've never done hardcore, it's just a different game. It's, man, you're afraid of freaking Zephyrs. Like, you're like, here we go. Like, the run from Mulgore to Crossroads is terrifying.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, because you got to cut through those level 17, whatever those dudes, the lizard dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And you're
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh my
yeah,
god, please
the
don't catch
big
me, please don't
things. Yeah,
catch me.
you can't just
And you're
auto
like,
walk and then
yeah,
like
you're like,
watch a show
because
and then look
and the
back
worst
at
thing
your
is
screen. Yeah.
the crossroads. If you take the road, the crossroads road has like angry mobs crossing that road sometimes. So if you're not paying attention, even if you're on the path, you can still pull aggro and
Yeah.
there's a stash that's shared across all your characters, and your gold resources are also by account rather than per character. So having bank alt tunes in WoW Hardcore isn't that weird to me. Yeah, I
Okay.
know, but isn't it a different thing, Diablo to WoW, because Diablo is already kind of restricted in that sense, whereas WoW you can benefit from other people where you excuse me, you can't really from Diablo.
And was it Diablo? You could kill somebody and then loot their corpse, like loot their items
Hmm.
and stuff. I heard somebody saying like, should that be in a hardcore WoW? I was like, yo,
That
that'd be
would
kind
be
of crazy.
nude. That would I would you would never stream. You would never stream hard. Well, I mean, the thing is, nobody's gonna. I mean, I shouldn't say nobody. PvP is gonna be pretty limited. Oh, but let's talk about the dueling thing.
Oh, type slash Matt Gora, and you can duel
So
somebody to the death.
you don't have to slash type it. I think you could just click duel to the death on them, like right click duel. Yeah, but go ahead and explain it because I think it's one of the coolest things they thought of.
I mean, as far as I know, it's just you duel somebody and the winner wins, the loser dies, and their character is a ghost, and they have to
Yeah,
restart. And somebody said like,
essentially
"Yo, that'd be so
duel to the
good
death.
for yeah." They were like, "That'd be so good to settle loot issues." It's like, well, duel for it. You want
Yeah.
it? Like you
Well,
want
who
Cruel
wants to
Barb?
upgrade? Well,
Okay.
let's see who could do it.
Yeah, the rogue
I
and the
think it'd
hunter
be
have to
nuts.
duel, and whoever wins
I,
gets Cruel Barb.
I Here's what I think. I think duel to the death is awesome,
Hmm.
and I think if you both characters are above a certain level, let's say 25, it should be server realm announced.
Uh, yeah.
Because if you're about to die by dueling, that is absolutely stupid, and I want to watch. And I think that'd be so cool if you're just like running through it and you're like you hear like, is fighting so and so in front of Orgrimmar. I'm like log out, log on my level 1 in Orgrimmar, watch out, throw my popcorn, and people will create level 1s just to sit in those places, those dueling areas,
Oh yeah.
and watch a duel to the death for higher level tunes. And I think that'd be absolutely bonkers, and I think it's one of the greatest ideas, because people will do it.
Here you go. I'm thinking of a dueling tournament right now. You need to level a druid to 40, spec into Moonkin form.
6 months later,
Moonkin duel level 40. Let's go. Let's do it.
dude, you have nothing. That's okay. How about your Moonkin versus my Feral, and
Nah,
we'll see who
Moonkin versus
the real
Moonkin.
class is.
The
Well,
top, the
okay,
top
so
boomy.
the one thing we didn't talk about, which I think is kind of they've been vague about, but I'm really curious about, which might solve the duel problem. Like I said, I have a level 1 created to watch duels. The ghost thing. Do you know about the ghost thing?
You can still walk around and I guess chat with people too, right?
You're stuck in ghost world. Essentially, like you die and you go to like a spirit reser person. Well, the spirit people aren't there, so you can travel. And he implied that there's actually something you can do while a ghost, not like fight or anything, but like something. So
I wonder if you can
yeah, I'm kind
still
of curious if they can do that,
trade stuff.
or maybe just travel around and like watch other people, or maybe scare NPCs. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like you can haunt an NPC. Like
Oh
every five
man.
minutes, you can like slash boo, and they'll run away. Blizzard, if you're paying attention, this is gold. Um,
Yeah, let me slash boo the city leader. Let me slash boo on Fall or Thrall.
yeah, I think that'd be cool. I, I'm excited. I can't wait to hear more though,
Yeah.
and I really hope that because if you guys don't know, the hardcore community is really big. I hope that they give the hardcore community a chance to read it, like see what's changing, and then both experience it and discuss it, to maybe improve it so it's exactly what we want or they want. Because I can't claim I'm part of the hardcore community. I've played hardcore, but like I don't do the tournaments. If Table Slam might be like the hardcore of us.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And speaking of hardcore, a guild killed Sethune in AQ40 with no deaths, and that was kind of intense.
Were they able to down Cthulhu after that, or was it just Sethune?
Cthulhu.
It's a hard K.
It's spelled
Cthulhu.
with a C. Yeah, those are C's. Speaking of Cthulhu. The reference from the title of the episode, those look like R's to me.
Cthulhu.
They're Z's.
I think mid AQ20, we got my guild and I got into the same argument about the correct pronunciation, and I remember being wrong. So God help me.
Anubarak.
Okay, no, it's
Anubarak.
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. It's C Thun.
Look, okay, a blue post.
Phonetically, C Thun. Wait, we got a blue post right now?
Oh my God, there's a blue post about how to pronounce it.
Oh. You got me hyped. I saw like a little thing on Discord. I was like, yo, we got a blue post.
Okay, no, never mind. It's a community manager, doesn't count. I thought it was like a real blue post on it. Okay, it's Cthulhu.
Rurudo? Yeah, that's what it was. Rurudo?
Cthulhu. Well, because I know it's Cthulhu, because if you guys don't know, all of the old gods are based on what do you call it? Oh my God. The author that writes all this stuff, that wrote all the weird.
I'm not a lore master. I don't know.
It's got its own Ian, like
Ian Acosta.
Lovelorian. It's like, hold on. Is it Lovelorian?
You're failing.
Like Cthulhu.
Can you spell buzz?
I'm looking it up. I hate that I can't think of what this is. Lovecraftian. It's Lovecraftian. And the main character is the Call of the Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, yeah.
And this is Cthulhu.
I've heard of Cthulhu.
Yeah, I'm right. You're wrong. Rurudo? Lovecraft. Thank you, Kevin. I don't know if you spotted it before I did, but yeah, Lovecraftian. So all the old gods are based on Lovecraftian. And because Cthulhu is the primary one, Cthulhu is the correct name, regardless of what anybody else says.
Okay.
So, Cthulhu.
Hardcore Guild downed Cthulhu in AQ40 after they downed Sethune.
As long as they did both, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, they did both. But yeah, I was watching it, and they went through this whole prep stage in the twins room, and they used the twins room as like Cthulhu's room, and they had everybody like run to their positions. They did a dry run.
We did that, yeah.
And yeah, it was like, kind of boring to watch as a spectator, but I was understanding. I was like, yo, they went through a lot of prep for this.
Okay, let's say you're about to raid lead. You're prepping for raid leading of AQ40 on a hardcore. Where is your biggest worry?
Tank dies.
No, I mean, yeah. But where in the instance? Where in the instance are you the most afraid?
I know where the trash between twins and
100%, 1,000,000,000%. That is the worst designed trash in the world. Like, you have to pull them into the room because there's so much padding trash. Half of them fear, some of them whirlwind. It's literally the worst.
All right, so I looked at their comp like that day. They did it Sunday, I want to say Saturday, Sunday. Maybe it was even Monday. No, I don't think it was Monday. I don't remember when they ran it. I think it was Sunday though. But they did have like 4 feral druids, 1 resto, I think, but no moonkins. So
they're garbage.
Yeah, like, do boomies even have a place at level 60 hardcore?
Did you play a boomie at level 60 in Classic?
Yes. I main swapped at like halfway through the BWL phase.
Were you prominent? Like, did your DPS show up?
Not on the top, but like I always had the bragging rights when I would like do more damage than like a mage or a warlock or a hunter or something. But I was never close to the top, I don't think.
What what is the most beneficial spell a druid brings to a raid?
I got you right here. It is actually 2 words. And Ferals currently have a glyph that allows this spell on the PTR to give them an Omen of Clarity proc. So I've narrowed it down for you. The Fairy Fire is the biggest spell a boom can give.
What's the second biggest? If you say intermediate, I'm so bad. Stop making me hint and just say what thing I'm talking about.
Okay. It's called Decurse. So a lot of fights in Classic.
It's not even called that. I think it's called Remove Curse.
Remove Curse. No, you're referencing Rebirth. And
yes,
yeah, Rebirth.
Yes. So, and why does Rebirth suck?
Because,
in hardcore.
Because people have one life. They can't accept a rebirth.
Okay. Should Rebirth negate one life?
Oh, like, what if the druid gets 1 rebirth?
Or what if you can only res them in the midst of a fight? Because remember, Rebirth back then had like a 1-hour cooldown. Or 20-minute cooldown. It was long. I think it was a 1-hour cooldown. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, like that's another question about these hardcore servers. Is there going to be any balancing beforehand, or is it just
30 minutes?
Is it just straight up like a copy pasta of what we got for Classic? # no changes.
Yeah, and Noah mentioned what about Bubble Hearth and petrification pots? Are those a good thing?
I don't know. People have found a whole lot of stuff. Like there's one other. Yeah, Light of a Loon.
Flask of Petrification turns you to stone, protecting you from all physical attacks and spells for 1 minute. But during that time, you cannot attack, move, or cast spells. It would give you time to get your mana back.
I don't know. Yeah, like
so.
There's a bunch of things that shouldn't happen. I feel like,
and that's the question: who gets to make those decisions?
And like what gets changed, what doesn't? Community? What's the limit? Yeah, because people were even saying like, I don't remember, like, because I haven't paid too much attention into all the hardcore stuff because I didn't plan on like going full into it, like playing wise, like as a player, but. People were saying like, yo, what if there was like level 60 quest where you went through a quest chain and then you could use your Ankh as a shaman like one time. But yeah, like all these things.
I don't like any of that. Like Ankh is a great example though too. Like, should it be allowed? And the answer is no, but like
yeah,
maybe people want to make an exceptions for stuff like again, Rebirth. I'm in the same boat. Like, I don't think it should.
Yeah,
but
no.
I am not the authority. And what if they decide, yeah, you know what, you can Rebirth because it's its own thing. It's not a resurrection. It's a rebirth.
And Soulstone too.
Yeah, Soulstone. Like
warlocks get like one Soulstone.
I don't think they should get them at all. But like maybe they decide, yeah. You know what? Until level 30, you can Soulstone or something like that. That would suck because everyone would just roll Warlock. But like, yeah, I don't think those are going to be the case. I honestly am more curious. Like the Bubble Hearth thing is really interesting because if you guys didn't watch the hardcore tournament thing ending, it was actually, I was telling my buddy, I was like literally describing this to him. I'm like, imagine you're in BRD. No, you're not even in BRD. Imagine you're watching a 5-man go through BRD and you're excited about the trash pull. You're like, oh my god, they overpulled. Like I was so invested in every like. So I can't remember the name of the boss, but like I think he's like Balgarum or Balgar or whatever. Where you go to the left through the door, the gateway, and then you keep going straight and you make a left. And he's like the big giant like elemental dude at the end, and you have to fight him. But the hardest part is getting there because there's that padding trash. Plus, there's the trash with the paladin that bubbles at the end.
Yeah.
And the one I was watching, they accidentally pulled extra trash and had to panic run out. And like it's BRD, but I'm still like, oh man. Or did you guys see that Light of a Loon thing they did at the end in BRD? Table, tell me you saw that. so okay. I don't know if I can find the clip fast enough for you, but it was It was okay, I'm just gonna explain it to you. Table, if you can find it and you want to send it to me because you know what I'm talking about, send it to me because it's okay. I'm gonna tell you what happens. So the final room in BRD is this giant room, and you can't just go up to the king and pull him. For one, you don't just pull him; you pull him and the princess. On top of that, if you pull him, all the trash comes too.
Yeah.
The emperor. Oh my god! So Table knows exactly what I'm talking about. And this is the thing.
I heard about it, but I didn't know it was the light of a loon pool.
It's BRD, and I am legit like, oh my god! It was. I can't remember which group did it either. But anyway, so Light of a Loon essentially gives you immunity for 10 seconds. You only get one of them per character. Like you get one. So what they did was
it's like a quest item, right?
They went in the king's room, and the stream I was watching, you couldn't hear the conversation. So you just see the hunter pet just beeline for the boss. You're like, oh, they just pulled the boss. Oh my god. And you're like maybe this will wipe. And then like in the stream I was watching, because it was the main one, I think it was Sarth that says, are they gonna Light of a Loon this? And all 5 of them, right as the whole group wrapped around the corner, they all Light of a Looned. I think they dropped some after this they dropped some taunting whatever you call them, target dummy things. But they just like the mage just melted the whole room's trash. And then because he generated so much threat, he then had to kite the boss around, because one hit from the boss, he's dead. So then he's kiting, but then the hunter finally pulled threat, and the hunter was kiting, and it was so because of the thing. Oh my god, let's see if I can find it.
No, the only cool tech I saw from that was like when it was like 2 teams and they did it kind of like close to each other in Lubers. They all like went up to the platform where you can get a quest for like the Onyxia attunement or something. I don't even know what that is, but they all like got their slow fall, and then they had the hunter aspect on, and then they like slow fell across the room and landed on like the bottom of the ramp to get to what's that boss? I don't know, but they like cleared like a whole gap because they all had slow fall, and I was like, yo, that's pretty cool. Yeah, dude, and this was in a tournament. Like people were going crazy with the tech that they were coming up with.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like this is in a hardcore final round tournament in BRD. I'm telling you, I can't find the clip, but it was so sexy. Yeah, the Noggin Fogger skip.
Yeah.
That's what I mean though. Like that's why hardcore is so cool, because this stuff, like okay, if you're like, oh yeah, but you can do Light of a Loon pulls like that in regular, except a couple things. One, cool, it doesn't matter in regular, but in hardcore, they have one life, and if they screw this up, it is a death, and it creates that much more excitement when you see that stupid owl beelining for the Emperor. You're like, oh, no, they're gonna die on him. No. I was captivated. I was like, oh, this is it. And then like I said, one of the announcers go, wait, are they gonna Light of a Loon? Are they gonna Light of a Loon? And I was like, oh my god, do they all have a Light of a Loon? And they did, and it was so sexy. It was so sexy.
Like it was. If one person had to use their Light of a Loon throughout the entire journey to 60, the strat's gone. Like they can't do it.
They can't do it. Oh, we only have 4. We'll go stand over there, Carrie. You're not playing with us today. And the other thing is they talked about how OP mages are, and I think that's going to be key. If you're thinking about going hardcore, I want to point out leveling a mage is hard. It's easy, but it's hard. It's easy to kill stuff. It's really easy to die too, especially early days. So like mages are OP, but you have to earn the OP-ness, which I think is kind of cool about mages.
The what? The what?
The OP-ness.
Oh, I mean, I'm saying the O. You don't have to repeat the O. The O what?
Oh, penis.
Okay. Jeez, we got there.
Yeah. I said it like 6 times. No, I 100% agree. I think hardcore is, you can get 25 idiots to speedrun. doing what I watched them do, you can't wing that. That's planning. That's discussion. Like they didn't just walk into BRD blind and go, oh, let's just see what's going on. Let's see what we can kill. They had a plan and they know how to execute. Like I can't even. I could if you. It's like 4 hours of content, and they were jumping around and so many cool like. There was one group that didn't have a tank, so they were just like taking turns. Whoever could hold threat, and the healer was just doing their best. The druid was really cool because they were playing like as a true hybrid class where they were going bear form when they needed to, they were popping out and healing when they needed to, they were going cat when they needed to, and I thought it was such a cool like reflection of like the druid aspect that you just do not see in raids anymore. And I can't overhype it. I can't.
Yeah.
It was so exciting to watch that.
And they can come up with so many new things too. Like they've got at least 3 different tournaments that they've done. They've done like the Makgora tournament where you level a tune to 20, you have a dueling competition, you duel to the death, the winner got a prize. You had like the lower level dungeon tournaments. Go ahead.
Before we get too far into this, it's Makgora.
Makgora.
No, Makgora. You say like the K almost back in the back. Yeah, Makgora. Makgora. Watch all the cinematics for Shadowlands, and you'll hear him say it a bunch. I think it's Shadowlands.
So
it
that
might be BFA.
That Makgora stuff, yeah, level 20, yeah, Makgora.
I was like, who's Makgora? I'm like, oh, he's saying Makgora. Makgora.
Makgora.
Yeah. It's a. In case you guys don't know, it is in the game or in like the story. Orcs actually do this. They challenge each other to a duel, and they duel to the death, and it's called Makgora.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Then they had the lower level dungeon tournaments. You level up a tune. You had like a 4 or 6 hour window, and then you would get a draft for RFC, Wailing Caverns, and what was the other one? The one in Westfall. Dead Mines.
Oh,
they might have done a 4th dungeon too. But yeah, those are cool. And then they had the big tournament over months. The leveling all-star tournament. So like what other tournaments are they coming up with? That's what I'm waiting for.
Here's the thing. Well, okay, that brings up another question. Man, we have so much. I know hardcore isn't like our big thing, but like,
yeah,
that was the most fascinating thing. So like, hardcore all-stars was ran by people.
Player driven, yeah.
Is by Blizzard picking up the mantle of hardcore servers. Are they going to still expect the community to be driving these tournaments, or is Blizzard going to start doing them themselves? Because I think that in itself, it both adds more questions, but also adds credibility to the tournament. Like, it's not going to just fade away. Like that it's going to be worth it. Like the All-Stars, they did a great job, but they'll admit there was problems. So maybe Blizzard by taking over can fix those, or maybe by Blizzard taking over, it'll be worse. I honestly don't know.
I'd rather see it be player driven, but I'd also like Blizzard to do more tournaments themselves. Blizzard has done one Wrath tournament.
Yeah, they used to all the time.
Yeah, they did one Wrath tournament. Do you even remember that tournament that they did? They did the Undying Challenge in Nax.
Oh, yeah.
They only had 2 teams, like 2 guilds face off in a 10-man versus 10-man. And they were limited to like 1 heroic world tour. And I think they started with like some other weird gear too. Like I think they started with like a base set, and then they got to do 1 world tour, and then they got to do like 10-man Malagos and Sarth, and then they did like a full Nax clear. I wish we got like some sort of tournament for Ulduar. That would have been cool. Like a Blizzard ran Ulduar tournament.
Didn't they like kind of like handpick the people?
Yeah, they handpicked 2 guilds.
You can't just like sign up for it. Like
no, there was no sign up.
You had to like already have your name in the hat. Yeah. Oh, did you, Noah? Can you dump it in one of my Discord or Gho's Discord? Because like,
or
bro,
DM it to me. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can play it in the background.
No, you want to play it in the foreground because it's so cool. Watermelon sugar. My dog's being like a little whiner. What's up, buddy? Come here. Come up here. Come on.
What else? What
Come on.
else?
Get up here.
Any other hardcore stuff while we're talking about hardcore?
There was one more thing I wanted to mention, but I can't think what it is right now.
Yeah, the only big question I had was like, are boomies gonna even have a place? Like, because I don't know of a level 60 hardcore boomy. I know hardcore. I knew level 60 druids, but I don't know a level 60 hardcore boomy.
It's not a very desirable class.
Yeah, they're all like feral. Maybe there's a resto druid mixed in there, but everyone just levels feral.
There's no survivability in a typhoon either, or typhoon because there's no typhoon.
It's like typhoon.
There's no survivability in a balance as opposed to like a feral. They have bash. They have charge. They have things they could press.
I have bash. I could switch to bear form bash.
Yeah, but you don't have charge.
I could spec into charge and still go boomy.
Did you find it? Did you find the video?
I have sound on it. Hold on. It's gonna take me a second to line this up.
I can probably put it on my screen if that helps. Do you want to just make mine big?
No, I got you.
Okay, good. Because I wouldn't know how to do the sound.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep it muted. We can just keep talking.
I would not. The sound.
How
is
long
half
is
the
it
fun.
though?
It's not long. It's like a minute.
A minute? All right. Well, I can play it then.
Yeah.
I think I have it lined up here.
What are they gonna do right now?
I'm gonna turn the sound off. So
and you need to pull very specifically to always give a half second for them to get down for a drink before you start getting the next big pull for them.
A really big pull
I don't know
into
if it's
a small
loud enough.
pull where everyone else can do it while the mage is
It's
drinking.
good.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the owl going in, pulling something. Oh,
Is that
wait a second.
Is that M?
wait for the.
No,
the peg.
tell me
We're
that.
pulling
Oh my God, they are pulling
It
Emperor.
is.
Wait. So this
pulled
team,
the whole
this
room.
team all has their lights of Elune.
okay,
I
so
wanna
this is
call
going to
that
be
out
a
right
Scarlet
now.
Monastery
What are they gonna
situation.
do?
This is a one pull.
Oh my God.
Oh my
The
god.
blizzard going out.
Oh my
Okay,
They
okay.
are going to use Light of Elune. It looks like they are going to use Light of Elune.
We're getting nice back.
Okay,
Boom.
there's a lot of
Under
blue.
level.
Up. They've got oils of
They're
immolation.
AoEing.
They've got
Oh
zappers.
my God.
They've got flame strike.
Look at the
my
AoE
God, it's
damage.
over.
Way.
It's over. They just have Emp left.
They've
They
amped
did it.
Princess.
They
And
actually
Princess is
incredible.
already halfway down.
And there was a target gem he dropped right there.
That was
And
amazing.
The perfect interrupt
Wow.
on Princess's Renew.
Dude.
That was amazing.
That was an
Unbelievable.
incredible. But you got to look at Ampi. 30%
Yeah.
health after all that. The
And
massive
bopped.
amount of damage.
And
Look at
bopped.
that, 1.7k DPS.
now he needs to kite.
This
now
is
he
not
needs
over,
to kite.
actually.
If he gets hit from
Yep.
Emperor,
You can
he
see
is
You can
done.
stop it.
Just
Like he just
popped
kites
his
the
nifty-
rest of it, but like
Okay.
you have to admit, like
Let me turn you back down.
if I wouldn't
Dude.
have told you what was gonna happen, you would have been like, I mean, watching it live was unbelievable.
The ads died
Unbelievable.
so fast. I was like,
that's the thing.
what?
When you don't have to worry about, taking damage and you could, for 10 seconds, 3 or 4 people doing all the damage they want, that's a lot of damage that you can, because remember, Classic has no AoE cap. So, boom.
Jeez, dude. Yeah, that was wild. And shout out to Warcraft Reloaded. They had Ampi on their podcast on Sunday. So Ampi and Bobka. And Bobka was part of the tournament too. I think Bobka made it to like the 3rd round, but didn't make it to the end. But let me get the link to that episode. And you can hear Ampi, who was in that group. And they mentioned it a little bit on the show, yeah.
That's so nuts, though. Like, now that you've seen it, though, you have to admit, like, that's badass.
Yeah.
Like, that's ballsy in every way, because those are hardcore. And that mage is just like, I got this. Yeah, and on top of that, did you notice that, like, they did the damage, and then the mage moved into position and then kept casting? Because the mage knew exactly what was going to happen. Yeah, and you could tell the mage was a hardcore gamer. And if you watch the whole clip, they actually talk about how the kiting isn't as straightforward as you think because of how space clipping can work. That if you accidentally run above the Emperor, he can hit you.
Yeah, he's just like,
And yeah, so
gotcha.
you always have to like do these these kind of like wide circle arcs, so you make sure you're never underneath them.
Mhm.
Just and all that, like I think Noah said it, like they probably logged in on non hardcore characters and practiced
Multi-life characters. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're ever like, oh, I don't know about hardcore, dude,
Yeah. Wild.
It looks badass. Yeah.
Oh, and one other thing with like, the whole should druids have one rebirth, should warlocks have one soulstone, should shamans have one ankh. There's going to be those toxic raid groups and guilds that are like, oh, do you have ankh? Yo, you don't? No, we're not interested. So like, yeah, no, don't even give guilds the option to be toxic and not accept players for not having their one res.
Their one. Oh, I mean, like it's like because that opens up a good question. What if you don't have Light of a Loon?
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you have Light of a Loon? And you're like, yep.
All right.
Sure do.
Go Light of a Loon now. You see what happened was we needed you to light.
Yeah. Oh, I misclicked it earlier.
Oops.
With that trash bowl, I figured, But yeah.
Yeah. So no life. No, one life. That's all you get.
One life, no exceptions.
No takebacks. And another announcement that we had was Season 6 of Wrath Classic, the PvP season, ends on May 29th.
Ooh.
Which is 2 weeks from this previous Monday.
I don't know, man. I mean, talking about beta and then hardcore. Wait, yeah. Now we're going to talk about
PTR, hardcore.
Now we're going to talk about Phase 3. I'm trying to do a Billy Madison reference, and it's so hard to change the words to the right thing.
Social studies and science? This is going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. Nothing, huh? Okay. No idea why I decided to reference Billy Madison out of the blue.
Yeah, that's
no clear
so
indicator.
strange. So strange. All right. What was I talking
anyway,
about?
You were saying
29th.
they announced that PvP season is ending.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? It means nothing to me.
Means nothing? Sure?
Why do I care? Why do I care?
No, you don't.
I
know.
You go.
I know. But I have to play it off too. Okay.
You have to soak in how stupid I am. You don't know. How dumb are you?
Yeah.
God damn it,
dude,
Grif.
What an idiot, dude. I thought you played WoW. Obviously you don't.
Okay. Anyway, troll, what's so big about this?
Maybe if you had put a poll out this last week, I would think that you played the game and like had questions to ask your community.
I got Dreambinder. What more do you want from me?
Okay, so PvP season ends the 29th, which is a Monday. Reset days are on Tuesdays, so the 30th. Usually, there's a week of downtime until the next phase launches, which would put it at like June 6th. Or if they do it on a Thursday, then it would be June 8th. But they only did Thursday releases for global releases because Chinese servers, but there's no Chinese servers anymore. So are we going to see the launch on the 6th? Are we going to see it on the 8th? Is there going to be a 2-week gap and we're going to get it the following week, which is the 13th or the 15th? When do you think phase 3 is coming?
So according to my, I have a connection on the inside. June 8th is going to be the launch date of phase 3. Now, in case you're wondering who my inside source is, it's me making it up.
On a Monday.
But I don't know. Hold on. I was trying to pull my calendar up while we were talking, and I was doing a poor job of it.
Oh, wait.
No,
Thursday.
Thursday, June 8th.
Yeah. Thursday.
Yeah. So
okay.
The reason I say this is Tuesday will be the patch, and then Wednesday will be the patch for global, because Europe patches on.
Oh yeah. They reset
Wednesday.
Yeah.
And they need to sync everything so that they could release them on the same day, which is still going to be on Thursday. So I still think the launch will be June 8th at 6 p.m.
And do you think that's going to be everything? Is it going to be the new VOA boss? It's going to be Onyxia. It's going to be TOC, the new dungeon, all the
that's
beta.
A great question.
Beta rune.
I actually thought about this the other day and actually didn't remember I thought about this until just now. I think they're going to allow the heroic beta to roll out when server resets on Tuesday.
Mhm.
And I think they're going to do that just because it's less of a headache. However, what it's going to do is give the US a slight edge because it'll give us 2 days to farm hard mode gear before the launch of TOGC. And the only thing they could do instead is not launch the 5-man's changes until that same time on Thursday. But I don't think they're going to because it's too much of a headache to manage that, in my opinion. I don't know, though, so don't hold me to that. But I really think it's going to be interesting because if you are in the U.S., especially like Eastern Standard, because you're going to get like the earliest. I mean, they all reset at the same time, but like for your day, it's the earliest. Strike that, reverse it. It's later in the day. Anyway, regardless, I think it's going to be on Thursday. I do think Oni and TOGC are going to come out at the same time.
On Thursday.
Yep. At 6 p.m.
And then the new VOA boss, do you think that's going to be on Thursday too? Because phase 2, they delayed it a week, right?
I think the VOA boss, is going to come out on the Tuesday following.
The Tuesday following. So
because,
not the
and
8th,
here's why.
But
the
13th.
They could launch it on that Thursday. They could launch it on the Thursday with the other stuff, but because they've done that, they've already done the pause. And I think it makes sense because the first pieces of loot should not come from the PvP boss. And I know PvP boss isn't the right term, but technically VOA is a PvP raid. So from the VOA boss, imagine getting your first tier 9 pieces from VOA. It's just, they won't let that happen.
And they wouldn't want any PvP people to have an advantage that first week. Maybe that's another thing. Like in arena. It could be, like if you got lucky on your loot in the first week and you had like a spring-loaded first week of the season.
It still gives tier. I just want to point out, Bearbus, it says it doesn't give heroic tier. It still gives
2, 4, 5 tier, which is nice, yeah.
The tier is still an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I
don't
want to say
it.
It's gloves and legs, I think.
Yeah, I think it's always the same.
Gloves, legs.
Yeah. But regardless, I do think that's going to be the timeline. What I think is annoying is, again, and we say this pretty much every episode for the last month now, it would be really great if we had a timeline.
Yeah.
Because we just guess our way through it.
And I like how, like, they won't give us a timeline, but then they'll just, like, throw out there, oh, yeah, the season's ending. It's like, oh, yeah.
Well,
it
is. The thing is, they've done that forever, like, where the season ending is the indication. The thing is, because everyone knows the season ending is the indication, why not just announce that it's the season ending and that the servers, switching over on that same date? Yeah. I don't understand why they can't just do them together. Like,
yeah. Because
I will. Oh, go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We have to do a normal clear of the new raid first, and then the second week, as long as you have to kill a noob. Like, you have to go through and kill a noob on normal, and then that attunes you for the heroic version of trial, and then so the second week we'll get to do the hard modes.
So that is how ICC works. You had to down Lich King normal before you could do heroic, and because they're modeling TOGC after, I think it should anyway. But yeah, like yes. Yes.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird.
So here's the question though. People that are going to be speed clearing or like race to world firsting, they've got to do a full clear of regular. Is the full clear what they care about, or do you have to do the full clear followed next week by the heroic?
Oh gosh. Yeah, do you have to do both raids back? No, you can't do both.
Well, I mean,
back to back.
Or what they would do is so on Thursday, everyone would do regular. And then the real race would be on server reset. The problem is
on Tuesday,
servers don't reset at the same time.
Ah.
So anyone that's on the Tuesday reset would automatically get world first.
Yeah.
So the question is, do they somehow stall heroic from releasing until the following Thursday, so they can then do a world first, or do they just count the regular 25-man as the world first?
That would be terrible. Regular 25.
Yeah, but
hard,
what's the alternative? Let's be honest. What's the alternative here? Is it 2 delayed weeks? Because think of it like this. You are in a regular guild. You kill 25-man a noob, you're like, cool. I cannot wait for Tuesday raid. And Tuesday raid comes and you can't do heroic because they want to do a world first heroic on Thursday. And you're like, bro, I can't keep running raids on Thursday. That was supposed to be a one-time thing for like when the server launched. Now we're doing it every Thursday. No, it's bad.
It's kind of fine. That gives us another Tuesday raid to go through Ulduar and clear Ulduar and get more loot from Ulduar first.
So Bearbus, there was a way to do 25-man hard mode day one. So the way it used to work was you could do a regular and a heroic 25.
Oh yeah.
So you would do 25.
You could do
and
two
then jump into
lockouts.
heroic.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
They took that out.
They've explicitly said so. I don't know.
Can you attune with the 10-man? So you have to do like 3 10-man groups on normal, then that attunes you for 25 hard mode.
10-man for the hard mode or for heroic. It's called heroic now.
Heroic, yeah.
And we have to switch our mindset to heroic versus hard mode. Guys.
That would be kind of sick. You had 3, like, because 5 people don't get included in the race, but they still have to like
Bearbus,
show up.
What Bearbus says, if that's true, I'd be shocked, but like maybe that is the case. But then that does open a bunch of questions. You only need one person to do normal,
could
right?
go in and do 20. Yeah, so see?
I don't know, man. And Blizzard, they explained it in a blue post, in 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So, day before, we will find out the answer to this question. Yeah.
Jeez.
But back in the day, they could just do 25 and 25 heroic.
Yeah, they could do 25.
So when
normal.
you say that back in the day, like it's not the same thing. That's the problem. We're not working in the same construct that it was.
I mean, 10-man is a lot easier. So having 3 groups in 10-man to do normal and just bust it out really quick, and then you get a 25 team from those 3 groups. If they pop out 25 heroic.
If by doing 10 it unlocks heroic 25,
Yeah.
that is 100% the play. 100%.
Yeah. But you think it's 2 separate attunements? That would be that'd be kind of weird.
That's what it's supposed to be. I'm almost positive. But I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Maybe Blizzard doesn't even know.
No, I'm sure they're probably like watching this going like, "Oh yeah, what do we do?"
Crap.
John. Grif and Gho, they made a good point here.
Yeah, they brought up a conundrum. Change freely without restriction. Yeah, well, they just get rid of the attunement, and you can just first week go right into hard or heroic.
Man, is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Bad. I'm gonna say bad. I'm gonna say let my raid group get used to the mechanics, get used to the positioning. It's gonna be a little bit hard. I haven't done normal on the PTR to know the differences, like firsthand. But I would kind of prefer the raid group to get in there, get a feel for it, because not everybody in our raid group went in there on the PTR. We didn't get a lot of signups for people over this weekend because it's coming back up. I think we had 17 people. Like the best night that people signed up for was, I think, 17 on Sunday.
Yeah.
So there's
we had like
still
30 on Sunday, but
there's still 8 people that were like, nah, dude, like we can't even make it, even on the most popular night. So we're not going to have that experience from PTR.
Well, here's the thing too. Even if you had everybody, there's still a pretty good chance that they buff this raid. Like a lot of people are saying they might still buff it a little bit. If they don't, if they don't change anything and they haven't announced any bug fixes, what is supposed to happen this weekend? Like, what's the point of this weekend?
Well, they announced it, therefore they must do it.
If they're not going to make,
they have to stick to their announcements.
Why have a follow-up
server? When they actually announce it, they have to stick to it.
And I think that's my question. Is like if tomorrow, which I think it'll be tomorrow, they'll post a blue post of any changes or any big changes they're going to make. And we'll see it over the weekend, and I think it's going to be a buff. I could be wrong. Regardless, hopefully in that one they'll also have a little bit of an explanation on how the unlock works.
Oh yeah. And
a lot of people are thinking it's just a pure HP buff.
I hope
just
not.
because some of these fights are too easy.
I hope not. It's too easy to us. We're part of that group that's full clearing Ulduar in 2 hours or less, week to week. There's groups that spend multiple nights and don't kill Algalon, don't kill Memra hard mode.
Yeah, but we're talking the heroic only.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so like these people that are struggling have 3 different versions of the game to get to first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, we're struggling on Algalon. Like, let's transfer this concept. We're struggling on 10-man, whatever. Cool, do the non-heroic version. Okay, we cleared the regular. Now we're doing the heroic version. Cool. Now you've got 2 different sets of loot to collect. Now we're going into 25-man, and we're clearing it. Should we try 25-man beasts of whatever they're called? Sure, let's flip the switch and do it. And that's what's so great about this is you can just toggle that switch.
But they're so far by. Like, what week was this? 16 or 17 of this phase?
17, I think.
And there's people that have had this long to do those weaker versions of Ulduar, the normal modes, on 10 and 25. And even with all that time, they still haven't been able to down all 54 out of 54. Yogg Zero, Algalon, Memra hard mode. Even with all the gear and everything. Like, they just, sorry, you don't get to look at all the content. 18? Jeez. So is that going to continue into talk, and then they're going to just be behind all through talk? Like, are these guilds just going to fall apart, and they're not going to play anymore? Is a lower player base of only hardcore people that can down the hard modes, is that a better environment for Wrath?
I think, man.
Do we want to have people be able to...
We talked about this. I think that Blizzard created so many problems by limiting it to only 2. And on top of that, we have this mentality that everyone's going to have the 25-man heroic 50-50 cloak. And the reality is you're going to have 3 or 4 per good raid. A great raid may have 15 or 20.
That's a lot. 15 or 20.
We got how many weeks? How many weeks of this? 16 weeks?
Of what? Next phase?
Of this phase.
Oh, this 18. Bearbus is saying 18.
So,
and then we still have another 2 or 3. So we're gonna have 21 resets of Ulduar.
So, unless your guild is doing splits, and those splits are with really good alts, you're not getting 20 cloaks. You're getting 10, and maybe less, because you're not getting it week 1. You're not getting it week 2. You're probably not even getting it week 4 or 5. And when you finally start getting them, it's going to go to your primary armor pen guys. So maybe like the 5 or 6. So if you're a caster hoping for that cloak, it is phase 4 when you might get it. And you probably won't even want it phase 4 because there's an upgrade.
For some people it's pissed through phase 4, right?
No, I mean, like I know for melee it is. That's what I'm saying. Like if you're sorry, not melee, armor pen users. So that's what I mean though. And like everyone's got it in their mindset like, "Oh, well, you know, I need the cloak." It's like, bro, you're gonna struggle getting tier gear.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cloak is like, I hope everybody gets the cloak. But the reality is, 20 weeks isn't enough weeks for TOGC, and TOGC sucks.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you were able to take the lower quality cloak, you would take it. But I believe there's only 2 cloaks, right? Or there are 4?
There's 3 or 4, I think. Yeah.
No, but I meant like tier of cloak. Because
tier.
50-50 10-man heroic. Is there a 50-50 25-man regular?
I know there's a 258 eye level cloak, and then there's 252 from Ulduar. So I don't know if there's an in between 258 and 272.
I guess the point is, I think the cloak is going to be few and far between.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the fact that you can only get 10 bosses of gear per week, because there's 5 bosses, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, there's 5. Yeah.
So 10 bosses total, because you've got 10. Let's say you're a pumper, 10 heroic, 25 heroic. There's only 10 bosses. compared to how many bosses are in Ulduar,
14.
and you're doing it in regular or 10-man and 25. That's 28 bosses. We're going from 28 down to 10, limiting the amount of times we can do it. Like if they kept it hard, you're at least up to 20, but they've cut it in half. The trophies are going to be, thin. TOGC is going to be painful for gear.
Yeah, like we've got our loot list. Like we haven't even had our loot list meeting yet, but it's going to be an interesting conversation, I think, for our guild. How does yours go?
I'll tell you, 80% want tier gear, and 20% will get it. Like, there's just not. I mean, like you'll get it eventually, maybe, or you'll get like 8.25 or whatever we want to call the
9.25. I think. Yeah.
Sorry, 9. Thank you, 9.25. Yeah. But if you want to get that heroic tier, chances are they're gonna pick very specific classes that get it, and I think druids are not up there. So yeah, that's the reality. Is like we're gonna be struggling with tier gear. We're gonna be struggling with that cloak. There's just and honestly, that's probably the argument for Ulduar hard mode, is because the gear is still valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Which sucks.
Yeah, dang. I hadn't even thought of like the amount of good items that are going to be coming from Talk compared to Ulduar. Because like each boss is going to drop 2, maybe 3 pieces, but there's a lot less bosses. Like I know,
we'll probably get 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 or 4 pieces. You're just not going to see a lot of gear.
And emblem gear isn't too great.
The what?
The emblem gear, not too great. Like crafted gear, meh.
There might be some small upgrades, but if you're pushing Biss already, chances are you're just gonna wait for heroic pieces to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some minor 10-man, like those 10-man gloves are pretty good. When you type TT, all I can think is Tsunami Talisman. Yeah.
Well.
Anyway, that's my thoughts.
Cool. Yeah. Some people were saying it could be a 2-week gap, so we would start phase 3 a week after what Grif said, which is the 13th and 15th, more towards the middle of June. But I'm kind of with you. I think the 1 week, the 6th and 8th, somewhere in there, that they'll do it. They'll wait until the 13th for the new VOA boss, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's everything I had on the plate for us to talk about. Anything else you wanted to dive into, or any other news pieces that I didn't bring up that you wanted to speak to?
I'm going to Cedar Point this weekend, and it's supposed to rain. So if all the druids out there can shift the weather patterns so it doesn't,
I'll take the rain this way.
Appreciate that. Yeah. You should take your hurricane and just like absorb all the rain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but what are you going to do? Because we already made plans to go, so we can't back out because we have like tickets and stuff.
So there's another person with you're 2-manning it or 7?
7 of us. Yeah. It's anyway, guys, that's all I got. Dreambinder is finally mine. I already mentioned it. I'm regemming and enchanting. I've got a bunch of pieces of gear. I've got to like decide if I'm going to swap in, but without the chest and the legs, I'm sticking with 4-piece. Yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.
Oh, and I got a Nintendo Switch.
It'll
be here.
Not sponsored.
It'll be here in. I'm only a couple deliveries away. 9 stops away. I don't know if you can see it.
9 stops.
I don't want to show you guys where I live. Sorry.
The thing's on a world tour. It's gone to 3, and it's got 9 more to go.
Well, it's Amazon. If you ever it updates you when it gets close.
They drop it off anywhere they can. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that's it for this show then. And next week we're back on Grif's channel, twitch.tv/Griftinish. It's on the thing. I should be able to look. Yep. And at YouTube at Grifton. So come hang out for episode 29 next week. I might get back on the PTR this weekend. I don't know. Tomorrow I'm at work for the whole Isle of Conquest thing with the devs. I wish I could hop on there and destroy the devs, but I don't think I'll be able to. I work till like 6 p.m. and I think it goes live at like 5 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, that sucks.
But
I'll be out of town by then. Yeah.
Cool. Have fun at Cedar Point, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Bye.